Well, greetings once again, my fellow Star Trek fans. I hope you're all doing well, and I'd like to welcome you to another video. This, for me, is a video that's long overdue. I've actually got the next shipment from Eaglemoss in regards to build the U.S.S. Enterprise D. Now, the last shipment I got was on June 12th, and it is now October 4th, 2021, so it's been nearly 4 months since I've got a shipment from Eaglemoss. Every time I contacted the customer service, they said that they were just simply out of stock. And I remember June 12th being the last shipment only because here in New England, the number 12 is very special to us in regards to the greatest quarterback that ever walked the planet. And Tom Brady never should have left here. He never should have been allowed to leave here. Well, that's a whole nother video, guys. And now he's all upset. They lost. They're going to come in here and they're going to hang 60 points on my Patriots. So, well, go Pats. I still love my Patriots, but we still love Tom Brady. Anyway, that's another video. And that's how I remember June 12th was the last shipment I got. So, without further ado, let's get right in to the latest shipment for the Build the Enterprise D from Eaglemoss. All right, let's get this box open. These are going to be build-up issues 35, 36, 37, and 38. So put that aside. And without further ado, finally, we get to handle these beautiful plastic containers holding our beloved Enterprise D parts. This is issue number 38. You can see a part of the primary hull, and it feels like plastic. And you got the windows, more windows, and we have some escape pods with the light and the DP. Now, I'll go through each of them in depth as I take them out and unbox them for you guys, but I just want to show you like a brief little preview of what's coming up. Parse pack number 37, or issue 37. We got more escape pods, lights, a piece of the primary hull. And we actually have a piece of the dorsal hull. This looks like it could be the starboard side. It looks really nice. And let's see, we got 36, issue 36. And looks like there's a little, I don't know if you can see that little light, or that little lantern. Be in a hurry to see where that's going to go. We got more windows, screws, and it looks like we have a section of windows and the reflective backing, along with the lights. And on the bottom, you can see there's a piece of the primary hull, and this is actually metal. We have a couple of the stickers for the offhand, I can't recall, but we'll open that up very shortly. Let's see, we got one more packet, and this is issue 35. You can see we got more escape pods and windows. A lot of those in this kit. We have the dorsal hull. I think this is for the starboard side as well. And we have another piece of the primary hull. You can see where the phaser array will be going. And that's issue number 35. So, the last thing in the box is we have, let me put that aside. We have issue magazine, and this is shipment number 10. Star Trek The Next Generation, U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D. Beautiful picture of the model. So, in this issue, you can see, nice, what's coming up, the index, and moving over to the parts list, stage 35 parts. You can see the piece of the primary hull, and you can see a piece of the dorsal hull, or saucer pylon. You can see the parts list on the bottom. Let's see. Stage 36. You got the piece of the dorsal hull with the reflective backing to hold the windows in place. Looks like some windows for the dorsal hull, a couple of lights, the stickers, and the parts list. And stage 37, we got more of the same. Looks like the primary hull. We got some lights, one light lead, and looks like the starboard side of the dorsal hull, or saucer pylon. There's the list. What's in that issue? Or stage. On to stage 38. Yep, there are a lot of similarities in these stages, in these issues. You can see the parts list. So we move on to the assembly. In this stage, a battle section power switch finds a discrete home in the vertical neck section, and another segment of the saucer comes together. You can see where it's going to be. And the key, the illustrations are colored to help you identify the parts as you go along. Red is used for screws, directional arrows, and connection points. The yellow is for the new parts in each step. The gray shows the assembly so far, and the blue shows the parts that are illuminated. We move on to step A. You can see we actually attached the other switch. Nice. And that's going to go into the starboard side of the dorsal hull, or the saucer pylon. Step B, we have the placement of windows and escape pods. And we put the backing on. And we put it onto the skeleton frame for the top of the primary hull. Step D, more placement of the plates onto the frame. The placement of the screws to keep everything into place. And one of my favorite parts of the build is testing out the lights. On to stage 36 assembly. You can see the section that's going to be worked on. And looks like adding lights, the windows and the backing, reflective backing. You can see the sticker. And a little lantern that we had. You can see that's one of the lights, the docking lights that's going to go on top. And we start to attach the plate to bring it together. Section C, more placement of windows and the backing, and screw it into place, and the testing. Stage 37 will show you the section that we'll be working on, and there's placement of a few windows and escape pods. Screw the backing into place, and again, we get to test it. Now, step B, you can see, is where we add the panel to the frame. And as you fish the wires, you fish the wires through a specific way so they don't get into the way, and they stay secure. And it's anchored with screws. Stage 38 assembly. You can see the saucer section. That's going to be worked on in this section. And we add more windows and escape pods. Another backing, more screws, and another testing of it. And then we're going to put that onto the frame. This is going to be quite the model when it's finished. It shows how to fish the wires through and attach with DP screws. Section C, the panels that we install, we put into the circuit board. You can see more placement, more panels, running the wires through. On to step E, secure with screws. And down to step F is the placement of, looks like the reflective panel. And that's it for the build section. And now we move on to a really fun part, the episode tidbits. You can see the little girl that Mr. Data ended up befriending when Captain Picard had said that it was a call for help and they had to respond. This is episode 2.15. The premiere was May 1st, 1989. Pen Pals. How lunch led to this season's only location shoot, and makeup meant pen pals couldn't keep in touch. After responding to a radio message, Data gets to know a young girl and learns that her pre-warp civilization will be doomed without imminent help from the Enterprise. That was a touching episode. You can see Rick Sternbach's concept art for Sarjenka's radio transmitter. That's pretty cool. And you can see Sarjenka. 9-year-old Nikki Cox poses for promotional photo showing off her Dremen prosthetic makeup. Cool hands. As a guitarist, I would love to have my fingers like that. Moving on to another episode that features one of my favorite characters in Star Trek, Q. John Delancey's Q faces off against Whoopi Goldberg's Guinan for the first time in Q Who. You gotta love Q. The guy is so cool. His sense of humor, and I love the Borg. The Borg were conceived as the ultimate evil, but their debut did Star Trek The Next Generation nothing but good. This is episode 2.16. The premiere was May 8th, 1989, written by Morris Hurtley. Q returns to offer his services as the Enterprise crew member. When Picard claims to have no need of his help, Q hurls the ship across the galaxy for the first brush with the Borg. You guys remember, Q just took the Enterprise way, way, way off her course, and they ended up encountering the Borg. And they ultimately knew that the Borg, once they knew of the existence of the Federation, they would be coming back. You can see an awesome Borg cube. The original Borg cube is built by Starlight Effects, complete with internal lighting. I did a video a while ago with the Playmates version of the Borg cube. Did Diamond Select do this? That would be really cool if Diamond Select made a Borg cube. I don't know if they have or not. We have some concepts for the Borg of what they would look like. An early Borg concept by costume illustrator David Fisher. Right and below left, more advanced concept by Rick Sternbach, including specific technical details. Love the Borg. To me, the Borg, they're almost as cool as the Klingons. Dorindra Wood attends to the detail on Tom Trella's outfit. Trella was the first actor to play a Borg drone. Ultimately would lead to one of our favorite Borg drones, Hugh. Or my personal favorite Borg drone, 7 of 9. You can see filming the forced perspective model, note to the partial lettering and the hard edge on top left. You guys remember, that's when the Borg ship was probing, and there was a laser that came on and actually sliced sections of the Enterprise away to study and learn about the strengths and weaknesses of the ship. Speaking of that section, here is what was removed from the ship. Made from styrene, paper, card, and other materials, Kim Bailey and David Hellman's core sample, the model was pushed out of the larger saucer segment miniature from below. You can see the decks. Some really awesome pictures of the Borg, the collective inside the Borg ship. The immense cavernous ship that they had. The interior of the Borg cube, below from left to right, a frame from the original cube interior, combined Sid Dutton's painting, live-action footage in the foreground models, a close-up showing the joins between the live-action and painted elements, and the cube interior created digitally for the episode's high-definition remaster version in 2012. Nice. And we have another illustration up top. Rick Sternbach's concept art for the interior of the Borg cube. Of course, they're regenerating stations where they sleep. On to the next. This one was pretty amusing because these very slow, dim-witted creatures, you wonder how they could actually have a ship with warp drive. They ended up kidnapping Geordi. And here's some concept art of what they would look like. One of the makeup artists, Michael Westmore's concept sketches for the Packlids. Is there anything more dangerous than a bunch of dim-witted people having a ship capable of warp drive and the weapons that they had? You can see Christopher Collins played, was that Gredenlog? Also played a Klingon in Matter of Honor, a pair of Mark aliens in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Let me guess, the rubber band broke, right? Geordi LaForge, initial assessment. Okay, so next episode, Up the Long Ladder. This is episode 2.18, premiered May 22nd, 1989. Two desperate Earth colonies, one that lives without modern technology and one that relies on advanced cloning methods, are brought together to avert their mutual destruction. You remember that was very odd because when they beamed down to the planet, they kept seeing the same people over and over again, and they were just clones. They ended up stealing DNA. I think it was Riker and who else? Dr. Crusher? Well, they weren't very happy about it, and they ended up destroying their clones, and they ended up, the other race, they ended up bringing the two together. And I remember her dad was told that there'd be 2 or 3 women for 1 man, encouraged to mate, so that's a great situation. Who wouldn't love that? English actor Rosalind Landor as Brenna Odell. Gene Roddenberry, Barry Ingram, and Michael Dorn singing the traditional Irish song in between takes. Can you imagine having a wee bit of the creature with Mr. Wolf? It's I know I'm not that was a terrible impersonation, but trying to do his accent. But he was an amusing character. Let's see. Rick Sternbach's concept art for the Mariposan cloning units. I remember Riker was not happy when he saw his own clone from stolen DNA. Bringing us to the next episode, which is episode 2.19, which was titled Manhunt. And that premiered June 19th, 1989, when Lwaxana Troi identifies Captain Picard as a potential husband. He seeks out solitude in a holodeck adventure. And of course, that's Marjo Barrett. She actually is the voice of the computer. I think, boy, from The Next Generation to Deep Space Nine, Voyager 2, right? And of course, she was Nurse Chapel, Christine Chapel, the nurse, Dr. McCoy's #1 nurse. So she was married to Gene Roddenberry, so she's had a very, very big role in Star Trek. Let's see, you can see Rick Sternbach's concept sketches for the Antideans. More concept art. Food stuff. And they're pretty cool looking. They look like fish. Creature from the Black Lagoon with big fish eyes. Rock drummer Mick Fleetwood in full Antidean getup is fitted by makeup artist Alan A. Apone. That's pretty cool. And that's it. That's everything in this episode. So this is going to be fun. We'll get that together. Now let's go through and show you guys everything. That's it. We'll start with issue number 35. All right, we'll start with, we've got the escape pods, 4 escape pods, and we've got windows. If you guys are sick of windows, then this model's probably not for you. So we got the dark room, and we got the room with the lights on. So there's 5 on each tree. And our first piece of hull, exterior hull, nice. Of course, this is going to go on to the dorsal hull, or the saucer pylon, the starboard side. You can see the Aztecing. Very nice. And this is plastic. Let's see where the windows are going to go. And we have a pair of lights with the connection for the circuit board. And let's see, we've got BM screws and we have EM screws. And lastly, in this section, looks like we have DP screws, and we've got more screws, BP. Now, this model has an awful lot of screws as well. Lots and lots of screws to hold everything in place. You can see this part is metal, and it's the part of the saucer section, the top part. You can actually see where the phaser array is going to go. It's got U201 You can see not too many windows and escape pods for this section. Is that everything in this? Yep, that's everything in issue 35. All right, that'll bring us to issue number 36. Let's see what's in here. All right, so looks like we have a packet of screws on top. Let's see what kind. These are BM screws, along with the window sections. These with the room lights on, and these are with the room lights out. 10 windows per screw, per sprue. Let's see. Looks like we have another section with windows for the saucer pylon, or the dorsal hull section. You can see the room lights that are on, and that will be off. And we have 2 pairs of lights, and they got the 4-prong alligator clips for the circuit board. Let's see. It looks like a vent for the outside, the top of the dorsal hull. And we've got, this time we got DM screws. And it looks like we have a backing. You can see where the lights are going to go in. Reflective backing to help hold in the windows. And we got the section of hull, and we've got stickers as well. Black stickers. Now these are, the last time we used stickers like this, we're actually wrapping the wires to hold them together. Oh, and look, there's, almost overlooked these. We got the AP screws. And this hull, this piece of hull is metal. You can see where the vent is going to go. And hopefully you can see that beautiful Aztecing. And where the lights are going to go. And this one says U101. Nice. Is that everything in this issue? Yep. So that's everything in issue 36. And that brings us to issue number 37. And it looks like right off the bat, we've got, yep, more windows. We have, I think there are 20 on each sprue. We've got 2 trees of the room lights that are going to be on. And we got 2 trees with the room lights that are going to be off. Keep all the windows for the Enterprise. Let's see. What is, we've got more escape pods. They're nicely detailed. We've got another pair of lights. And this one has the 4-pin alligator clip. And we have some screws. We've got BP. And we got a packet of DP. Let's see. Then we got another section of the hull on the top of the primary hull. And this is plastic. You can see where the escape pods are going to go. All the windows. And you can see the reflective backing, and you can see the little areas where the lights are going to fit in. And lastly, we've got a beautiful section of the dorsal hull. And this is plastic. You can see the bottom where the photon torpedo launcher would be. You can see all the windows. Nice and clean. You can see the Aztecing. Beautiful. Is that everything? Yep, that's everything. That's in issue 37. And that brings us to issue number 38. All right, what do we got up top? Looks like we got another section of hull. And this is plastic. You can see where the escape pods are going to go. All the windows. You can see where the lights are going to go. Not sure about that. Yep, it looks like lights are going to go in there too. Nice. And let's see, we got some zip ties. We've got 3. This is probably going to be for all the cables and the wires. Because all the LED leads, the wires, they do start to add up. And we got a package of the BP screws. And we got some windows for the dorsal hull. You can see the room lights that are going to be off and the ones that are going to be on. And we got a whole section of more windows. So we've got, looks like 20 of the clear windows. And 15 of the room lights that are going to be dark. Lots of windows. And we've got more leads. We have 2 more of the LEDs with the 3-pinned alligator clip. This one's a little bit longer. And we have DP screws. And we have more escape pods. The primary hull does have an awful lot of escape pods. Is that everything? And that's everything in issue number 38. And that, my friends, is everything that's included in shipment number 10. We have the parts packs or issues number 35, 36, 37, and 38. And the next video, we're going to be putting it all together, and we're going to be doing the build part of shipment number 10. In the meantime, this was everything that was included in this shipment. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I look forward to the build, and I'll be doing that video very soon. So thank you, my friends. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.